Hello, my loyal subjects. Ugh. So, yeah. Back again with the Arcana. If you're wondering why I'm not as positive and cheerful, it's because I already recorded this. I was recording, my screen started flashing, and it shut off, so I don't know if it saved it, if the game continued. What do you mean already exists? I don't know what my tablet's going on about. But, yeah, I played a lot of it. Not too much, just, like, finished the chapter I was on, and that's about it. But I didn't save. Or at least it didn't save last time I checked. But, yeah. That sucked. Like, I was legit in the middle of a freaking choice, and it just shut off. So, if it does it again, I'm just gonna quit for the day. Which means I'll have to do it on the weekend. So, for Julian, we have about 9. Nadia, we have about 8. And then Azra, we have about 10. I don't know if that's the right thing. Okay, so, yeah, let's do the spin. Why not? Whoa, look at that. It's another letter. I have 4 letters. Basically, what I mentioned in the other one, but it didn't save. So I already did the tarot reading yesterday, twice. This is the 4th time it's tried to give me a tarot reading. So I think Nadia likes me or something. But yeah, let's go on to the story. Freaking sucks. Oh, of course! Sorry, I'm just angry. So basically what happened is Nadia told the guy to run, and he ran, and I followed the deer, went into the door, and then I ran into Julian. Julian bought me a drink, and it said switch drinks or drink the drink, so I drank my drink. I hope it saved. That way I don't have to, like... That way you don't have to imagine it all. I take a sip. It's refreshing, barely sweet, and fizzes on the way down. As soon as it washes down my throat, I need more. All day I've been running in the sun, and it hits me powerfully. The doctor slowly lowers his stein to watch me drain my cup, eyes gleaming brightly in the warm light. Look at you! You're as dry as a bone. Drink. Drink. A few more desperate gulps, and it's gone. While I look at the seam of my lips, the doctor slides his stein to my side and leans in. You know, I never did get your name. Fingers interlocking on the table between us, he gives me a look of encouragement. Jessica. Ah, Jessica. What a lovely name. A musical name. Jessica. You can call me Julian, Jessica. He offers me his hand, and though I hesitate to place mine in his leathery grip, I manage. His smile broadens to a toothy grin. So, Jessica, I have to ask, how did you wind up in that alley? You know, at first I thought you may have come for me, on behalf of the palace, of course. But I'm not wearing any chains yet, and you're covered in burrs. Now I may be projecting, but I'm sensing that you're on the run. His knowing looks makes me bristle. No one is paying us any mind, but I'm still tempted to cover his chatty mouth. Chuckling, he reaches past my ear and pulls a bramble from my shoulder. Escaped from the palace, down the southward side. Ah, we have so much in common already. Do you have anywhere to go? Back to the magic shop? I sit up straight at the mention of home, but he raises a cautionary finger. Oh, but that is the very first place to look. I can still tell you how to get there, but... You can? You bet I can. But first, I'd have to take another look at that document. A painless trade. I hand over the scroll, and he spreads it flat across the table. Once exposed, its contents seal the smile from his face. He leans over the page, frowning in concentration. Oh, look at him! Sorry, I just like him. He's nice. Alright, let's see. Oof, this lighting is not for reading. Well, it's a letter, but you knew that. Dear so-and-so. Dear sister. His eyes flicks up to me, mortified. You can read this? Not really, but he doesn't need to know that. I shrug. Incredible. You know, a cryptographer told me once that it would take years of study to look at you. Oh. Incredible. You know, a cryptographer told me once that it would take years of study. And look at you! A natural! I squirm discreetly at the praise. The doctor beams and blinks and returns to the page. Ahem. Dear sister, I have much to share since last I wrote. Winter has come to the palace. These marble floors are so cold each morning. His voice tampers to a mumble, and then he's quiet. His gaze slides carefully over the page, and I watch his face for signs. The more he reads, the more he pauses to massage his temples or to pinch the bridge of his nose. Poor baby. By the time he's finished, he looks drained. He rolls up the letter and hands it, surprisingly, back to me. Absently-mindedly, he reaches for his den. What does that mean? I need to Google that after this. Tossing the rest of his drink down his throat. With little else to do than to watch him swallow, I surprise myself and take a chance at conversation. You have a sister? A wet cough. Oh no! Spluttering and... I know how to pronounce that, but I just can't. And he sets down the empty drink. I do. Haven't seen her since she was, this high. His fingers flutter just above the lip of the table. Excuse me. Aww. I'm assuming it means cup. Whisking our empty cups away, Julian heads back to the bar. I huff through my nose, more curious than before. Shrill bickering erupts from the card-playing crone's table. I turn to see spectators throwing their hands up in the air. Meanwhile, Julian makes quick work at the bar. On his way back, he is accosted at the card game, wrist snatched by a bony claw. A claw? After a moment's deliberation, he leans in, whispers to one of the crones, and taps a single card in her hand. The card is played, throwing the crowd into chaos. Julian ducks away just as someone douses him with their drink. He is still wiping it away, chucking when he returns to the seat. Is this supposed to say chuckling? You would think I'd know better than to get involved with politics. Looks like you know all the right moves. Looks like you're not worried about being seen. I don't want to say that. That's rude. Looks like you know all the right moves. He cocks an eyebrow, setting down our drinks and leaning one arm on the table in a demonar? I don't know. Pose. Well, once you've made all the wrong ones, what can I say? Some call me clever, but I'm just practice in the way but I am just practice in the weighing of options. Options like bad and worse. That's life for you. He rubs the back of his neck, glancing sidelong at the door. Or maybe I'm just paranoid. The barkeep says I've got more in common with the Raven than anyone else. Raven? I recall the bird that followed us in from the alley. Ah, the rowdy one. He spends his time scouting for guards. Obsessively, even. He raises hell whenever they come by. Even the sight of the Count's crest drives him wild. Oddly enough, I don't think anyone really trained him to be that way. Julian laughs softly, and his gaze falls back to me. Though I suppose we're all trained to be that way. The words have a mysterious gravity. I feel as though he's trying to tell me something more. Suddenly, the Raven bursts in through a dusty window overhead, flying in loops with a Gretel streak. Oh, for crying out! The bird beats itself against a string of bells, and the tavern erupts in chaos. Guards! Palace guards! Patrons claw their way out of every door and window. playing cards tossed and fluttering in the air. Julian scoops me... Oh my gosh. I can't read right. Julian scoops me bodily from my seat and rushes me to the back door, back into the alley. The night is cold now. The doctor casts a frantic glance up and down the alley before crowding me into the shadows. Go back up that road, take a left, a right, a sharp right, and you'll return around the street. It's long, but it's a straight shot. It'll take you as far as the marketplace from there. You'll be able to find your way. Yes? Jittering, I nod. He clasps my upper arms and leads me to the mouth of the alley. Up the road, left, right, sharp right, round street. Good luck, Jessica. Sweet. He's so sweet. I'm released and I stumble into the road. Oil-slick rats disappear into the gutters, and the apartments have their shutters locked. I cast one last glance at the alley, but the doctor is already gone. Typical. In the blink of an eye, the street has fallen silent as the grave, and I am the only living thing in sight. Head spinning, I dash up the road from whence I came. Left, then right. Spectral alley cats scatter to the shadows as I whip past. The stone path is broken and winding, narrower and narrower, until I reach a very sharp right. A round open street. This must be the one. I heave with exhaustion and slow my pace to a jog. Still, my mind races. I've always been wary of the palace guards, but never feared them like this. Even if this road takes me to the shop, even if I'm not spotted along the way, there's a good chance I'll find them waiting there for me. I'm not watching my footing, and I trip over a vagrant sneeze. Helpless to stop myself, I collapse with them in an ungainly pile. Oh, how great! By some miracle, the vagrant below me is of a very sturdy build. They also sport a spotless white costume. A rabbit! I don't believe it. Ooh, the rabbit had the card. By the look they give me, caged under my lesser weight, they don't believe it either. Why no, how did they find me, or was it I who found them? The gaping guard below me doesn't seem to know either. Across the street, the door of a stationary carriage swings open, and Portia emerges from within. She jolts at the sight of me. Oh my god! What? What was that sound? The Countess peeks out of the carriage, and her lovely red stare falls upon me. She blinks at a hummingbird's speed. Jessica, where on earth did you come from? That way. Portia gestures to where I came, while the guard manages to disentangle our limbs quickly and effectively. Uncanny. Why, we only just arrived. I agonized over choosing the right spot to hide, and we finally settled on this one. Ludo, take the reins. We'll be returning early. The guard shuffles to the front of the carriage, eyeing me in wonder. Meanwhile, Portia hustles me inside. Dazed, I settle tentatively into the plush interior. The Countess observes me with obvious delight. It is extraordinarily rare that anyone should exceed my expectations, Jessica. I apologize for what must have been a most tedious trial to a magician of your prowess. The Countess pulls a silken pouch from her waist and passes it graciously to me. My heartbeat hastens as I pull the drawstring. The silk falls away to reveal the Emperor card. I can almost feel the deck in my bag react to its presence. I can only wonder, if you are the apprentice, how proud the master must be. Though I've somehow won our game, it is she who's eyeing me like a prize. I swallow, throat dry. Staring down at the Emperor, I can't but feel as if he and the other Arcana are making sport of me. Do take this time to rest. It will be a while, yet before we arrive, a feast awaits you. And a bath, if you will agree to it. Absently, I nod. Thoughts of leaving seem foolish now. Fate has decided for me. This business with the Countess, we were fated to meet, and fated to see through. The carriage lurches to action, and with sharp echoing hoofbeats, we depart from the gloomy street. The palace looms over the carriage as we approach, a white monolith against the twinkling night sky. At some point, I dozed off, the gentle sway of the carriage too seductive for my exhausted mind. I awakened to comfortable silence. The Countess is turned toward the window with a serene smile, As soon as we disembark from the carriage, a host of servants arrive to sweep me up for a bath. Tightly flanked on both sides, I am led through the halls and past my guest quarters to a bathing hall. Oh dear. I suppose the Countess intends to bathe me, whether I like it or not. There is no escape from my escort. I cannot muster the energy to protest as they quickly strip me and usher me into a large marble tub. With a fluttery groan, I sink into the perfumed water and let the day's tension and filth melt away from me. Oh, I bit my tongue. I don't notice Portia until she clears her throat, waiting expectantly in the doorway. A glittery bundle rests in her arms, shimmering hues of burnt senna and rich Tyran purple. "Milady is waiting for you in the dining room. She'd like you to wear these." "I like purple. It's cool. And it's royal." Portia tosses me a cheeky look and sets a new outfit on a tiled bench against the far wall. I like her. She has freckles. She slips out of the room, leaving me to my thoughts in the softly sloshing water. I exit the tub and pad across the luxurious bathroom to the bench, leaving a small river in my wake. This ensemble is woven of a heavier silk than the last, which appears to have been whisked away. I run my hands over the smooth grain, then slide the clothing on. It's perfect for the balmy night air. When I exit the bath chamber, Portia is waiting outside, fingers tapping out a jaunty rhythm against the wall. "So, you took quite a little trip into town today, huh? Meet up with anyone special?" My vulnerable expression makes her snort with laughter. She places a hand on my back and leads me briskly toward the dining hall and faint echoes of music. The grand doors swing open as we arrive to reveal an expansive feast piled high onto the long table. I'm immediately overwhelmed by the sumptuous smells and sights of the food before me. Everything is richly seasoned with Vesuvian spices. I can recognize the scent of saffron wafting toward me. Why, if it isn't my champion of the hour, fresh from the bath. Hello, Jessica. A servant seats me and fills my glass with pale rose beverage as the Countess raises a toast. To Jessica, whose talents have exceeded my highest expectations. Let us be strangers no longer. May this be the beginning of a valuable friendship. I look forward to a long and fruitful partnership with you. I am sure you will not disappoint. She looks me in the eyes, then drains her glass in one motion, setting it down gently when she's done. I take a sip of the rosy drink. The delicate floral taste reminds me of the Countess's perfume. Ah, least we forget. Bumilda? Ludovico? Ludovico? I can't pronounce that name. I'm awful at reading. The Countess casts her gaze sidelong toward the kitchen door. Moments later, two figures slink sheepishly into the dining hall. The guards, the rabbit and deer, freshly bathed and divested of their animal costumes. They shift nervously, arms jostling as they adjust their posture and straighten expectantly for orders. For being such admirable sports, I would forgive their trespassers, but the sight was against you, Jessica. Shall we invite them to join us at the table tonight, or shall I send them away? That's so rude! Why would I send them away? Well, they were kind of mean, but at the same time, if I send them away, what kind of person am I? Invite them to join us, even though she might not like that. Who cares? They can stay. The guards look at each other in confusion. Frozen in place, neither dares to move. The Countess clears her throat, and they promptly clamber to the far seats at the end of the table. They seem startled when servants set plates in front of them, and remain nervously quiet. Nadia's lips twitch up slightly as she observes me, before turning to the guards. They have worked hard today, haven't they? Very well. Ludo, Bumilda, behave. They nod in unison and murmur to each other as Nadia's attention turns back to me. You have a generous spirit, Jessica. A rarity in this town. Tomorrow, we shall dine together with my courtiers. They are most eager to make your acquaintance. I have no doubt they will find you absolutely charming. They will want to know everything about you. But choose wisely what you wish to tell. I will be informing them of the masquerade as well. I imagine they will be ecstatic. I'm scared. I nod slowly, chewing and swallowing hard. The ways of the court are foreign to me, but the Countess will be there. No doubt she will ensure that my premiere goes smoothly. I can trust, at the very least, that she won't allow me to be too much of an embarrassment. Portia and I don't know what that says. And of our loudest servants will be going to a town tomorrow to make the announcement. Once the townspeople hear, word will spread on its own, and then it shall be out of our hands. We must ensure there is a significant audience for our final spectacle. This is of the utmost importance. I hope Julian comes to the masquerade. Cough, cough. The Countess's crimson gaze narrows as if she is peering into an unfavorable horizon. When the doctor hangs, he will hang for all who wish to see. No. I think of Julian, bathed in the warm, welcoming light of the tavern, swinging from the gallows. My heart grows cold at the image, but I'm careful not to let it show on my face. But these are tomorrow's matters. Tonight, Jessica, I have questions. Just gonna ask where I was. Questions? I'm startled by the sudden attention. She's watching me so carefully. Ooh. That scared me. A door closed. Yes, I wish to become familiar with you.